think he's going to miss the next game, and we were concerned at halftime, and he insisted on playing, and I thought he made a lot of really good things happen in the second half, but he's not 100%, and there's a lot of guys in this series that aren't.
I mean, it's NBA Finals. It's the finals, man. I've worked my whole life to be here, and I want to be out there to compete. Help my teammates any way I can. I was not great tonight by any means, but it's not really a thought of mine to not play here. If I can walk, then I want to play. So they understand that, and is what it is, and got to be ready to go for Game 6.
All right, Stephen A., I appreciate the sentiment of Hallie, him wanting to play, being a gamer. He wanted to help his team, but did it hurt his team? Really, that's the question. So do you think Rick Carlisle made a mistake in playing him in the second half?
I thought it was a colossal mistake on the part of Rick Carlisle, and I don't say that much because this is a champion and one of the great coaches in the game of basketball, somebody that I've known for over a quarter century, and he's a champion, and he's going to the Hall of Fame. He's one of the elite coaches in the game of basketball, but I thought he dropped the ball last night. Certainly, we could look at Tyrese Haliburton, and we could say maybe you could have whispered to the coach, T.J. McConnell is rolling. You got to roll with that right now, the way he was playing in that third quarter and overall in that second half. And I'll be honest with you, I think T.J. McConnell has played better than Tyrese Haliburton this entire series, with the exception of Game 3. I really think. Look at what he's been doing. Look at the Energizer Bunny that he has been. But there is no question that the accountability. There's no question that the accountability falls on the shoulders of Rick Carlisle in this regard. Tyrese Haliburton was an absolute no-show. He had nothing. It was an awful game. If you saw it and you had to remind yourself that he's injured, because you're saying to yourself, how in God's name can you be that bad as a point guard, as a young star point guard for a team in an NBA final stage? It was awful because it was a complete no-show. But then you remember he had that calf injury, similar to him having a hamstring injury in the conference finals last year against Boston. And you look at how limited he was and what he couldn't do. Couldn't get open, couldn't get loose, couldn't evade offenders, certainly couldn't find his shot. Absolutely no show. 17 minutes, 0 points in the first half. 17 minutes in the second half, just 4 points. All 4 points came on free throws. Couldn't make one single shot. And when you take that into account and look at the way T.J. McConnell was playing, and the fact that this was not a closeout game, you were not down 3-1. It wasn't do or die. You weren't going home. You have Game 6 to look forward to. Not only should he have pulled Haliburton, he should not have even allowed Haliburton on the bench. He should have sent them back to the locker room and said, go get treated now so we can get ready for Game 6, because his health was that bad. I'm talking health, guys. I'm not talking his game. I'm talking health. I'm saying clearly he didn't need to even be sitting out there. You yank him. You see the way T.J. McConnell is flowing. You see the Energizer Bunny that he is. Go back to the locker room, get treated, get ready to get on the plane. We're going to need you Game 6, and if necessary, a Game 7. But you don't have it tonight because of that calf. Definitely that was a call that Rick Carlisle should have made, and I thought that it's rare in his coaching career that I think he's made a mistake. Last night was wonderful.
Getting a lot of facial expressions here from Marcus and Markieff. Marcus, you take it first.
First, let me say, I say, don't be calling my phone at 11 o'clock talking about my man ain't show up. That's
yes,
first. Don't be calling me, put in my face. Listen, I have to say this.
I said, I don't want to hear word.
Hey, I got to say this. I know that Rick Carlisle is a really good coach, right? And this is it's a league where you have to stand by your players. When I watched Tyrese Haliburton, I didn't see a guy that couldn't play in that game. I see a guy that was hampered, that couldn't get past guys that wasn't his normal self, but I didn't see a guy that could not have played. Yes, T.J. McConnell was playing well in the third quarter. Rightfully so. He's playing, that's his unit. They push the ball. They play fast. He's been effective at that. But he has to play in these games. Like, you don't know what can happen. It was 95-93 with 8 minutes to go on the clock when Haliburton was on the court. One big shot away from cracking that lead open. Yes, they turned the ball over and they went on a 25-16 run to end that game. But even with him not playing that well, they still had a shot, right? Like, yes, you might want to have put TJ back in that game, but me personally, I'm going with my player, and I feel like that as a good coach, a Hall of Fame coach, he had to go to him and say, can you play? Do you want to play? And Tyrese Haliburton, knowing that this is his team and they go run by how he goes, He had to get back in that game. Regardless if he couldn't play as well, it wasn't like he's beating Lou Dort off the dribble anyway in any of these games. Maybe you needed to be a bit more coaching and add some plays in to see if he really can get to that bucket or do whatever it is it takes to get him over that top. But there's no way that I'm taking my player out, especially if I'm a coach like that and I spoke to him and I seen Kenny play and he wasn't like crazy hobbly out there. I say he wasn't like where it was like he cannot be in this game right now, snatch him out. I just didn't see that. So with that being said, I'm leaving him out on the court.
Keith?
I agree with you, Marcus. So I kind of look at this like as in Aaron Gordon from the Nuggets, right? Mm-hmm. When you seen Aaron Gordon on the court, you knew like he cannot move at all. Like he's hampered. When you watch Tyrese Haliburton, it wasn't the same thing. His pace stayed the same. It was the part where he couldn't create a shot, couldn't get around players, but he wasn't doing that the entire game. And we have seen this in this postseason where game 2, I think it was, where he had 4 points going into the fourth quarter. It's kind of like the same exact thing.
No. It was
not,
2.
But
go ahead.
But it's not the same exact thing.
4 free throws for the game.
Rightfully so. I'm not discrediting you. I'm not discrediting you for what you're saying. I'm just saying when my eyes didn't say when I was watching Tyrese Haliburton that you can't be on the court. It didn't show that. It showed that he couldn't get past nobody.
But he couldn't be.
But he was still playing at that pace, like Marcus said, with 8 minutes left in the game.
He hasn't played well in OKC anyway. He hasn't played well.
I'm not giving him a benefit of the doubt. He played piss poor. He played horrible yesterday. I say terrible. But what I'm saying is, when I watched him with my eyes, it didn't look like an Aaron Gordon situation where you're this hurt that is obviously being showed that you cannot be on the court. I did not see that yesterday.
All right. Okay, all right. Let me try a different way. Let me try a different way, cause y'all something else. Y'all something. It's unbelievable. I gotta give it to y'all. Y'all sound so. I mean, y'all are saying y'all. I mean, Mama would be proud. Y'all just so nice. Y'all just throwing it out there so nice and all of that stuff. And by the way, give Mama Morris my love. We got to give Mama Morris some love here. Here's the deal, fellas. Come on now. We go through 3 quarters. 3 quarters. The brother don't have a basket. Not one basket. Not one basket. He scored as many points as us. I mean, a complete no-show offensively. Now, I understand you can't get loose. You can't move east-west. You can go more north-south, like Jay was saying earlier this morning, but you couldn't move east-west. Let me tell you the lone exception under which you justifiably bring Haliburton back into the game. Once y'all came back from 15 down and you pulled within 2. Now we talking. Because once it gets that close, all right, especially if it's the waning moments, last 2 minutes, because we know what the brother has done in clutch situations, right? But in totality, when you look at his movement, when you look at the fact that he couldn't shake defenders, when you look at he couldn't create, he couldn't get anything going for himself. We on this show talk about greatness, right? Greatness, that's what we talking about. The brother had 0 field goals. He had 2 free throws going into the fourth quarter, and then he added 2 more. Couldn't buy a basket. I mean, damn, Molly could have scored last night. I mean, that's how bad it was. Okay, so when you're looking at it from that standpoint, all I'm saying is, if you know you're not healthy and you saw the way T.J. McConnell was flowing, of course, you Haliburton, you can't go up to the coach and tell the coach you want out. You can't do this. It's the finals, bro. You got to be there for your teammates. You got to be ready to go all out no matter what. I don't give a damn if you got one leg. You hop, you drag, you do whatever the hell that you got to do to help your teammates in any way you can. But that Hall of Fame coach got to see that. And he got to see the fact that this dude, T.J. McConnell, whether it's steals, whether it's open threes, whether it's driving to the basket, going downhill, constantly putting pressure on OKC's defense, with OKC underestimating him, maybe. You got to ride that. And you got to say, yo, you got to come out because you just don't have it. This ain't Mathurin that was making a mistake here, there, whatever. This was a brother in Haliburton that couldn't get off. And by the way, when we analyze it, wasn't really getting off in game 1. All right, game 2, same situation. Game 3, he balled. Game 4, he didn't really get off. And now we got game 5. I mean, damn, how much evidence do you need? If you don't have it, you don't have it.
You don't have it, but I'm not taking out my best guy. This is not the first time when the best player has played well.
Is he your best guy?
I mean, he's my leader. He's the leader of the team.
Siakam?
Siakam plays really